Okay, it's that time again for the training tip of the month by Villa La PAWS. This month's training tip, I'm going to talk a little bit about pressure and restraint and why giving into pressure is good and why everybody should practice restraint with their dogs. In my puppy classes, I always do a little chapter on restraint and pressure. I don't normally do pressure. I don't teach pressure until the dogs are a little bit older. Usually when I'm teaching pressure, they're usually 7, 8, 9, 10 months old. But I do start teaching restraint right from the get-go. So the first thing we're going to start with is we're going to start with talking about restraint. Why restraint is important. Everybody takes their dogs to the vet, and the vet has to hold them, possibly take blood, look at any bumps or cuts, or they want to look in their eyes, they want to look at their teeth, kind of generally look in their mouth. That's a time that a lot of dogs will tend to get nervous or start fighting the restraint that the vets are doing. So there's a way we can teach our dogs to kind of give in to that restraint, in a way we can reward them for the calm behavior. So this is my dog Secret. She's about 1.5 years old now. When she was a puppy, she was very naughty with restraint at the vet. Her first time she went in and they were looking in her mouth and such, she threw a little bit of a fit. So I knew it was time for me to start teaching her how to give into that restraint, which then made her vet visits much better for her. She wasn't so phobic when she went to the vet, and she actually likes going to the vet now. So when I hold Secret's muzzle, she's learned to be very calm. Yes, I mark that moment, and then I'm going to give her a little reward for doing it. I reward 100% of the time when I'm teaching restraint. She's at the point now she doesn't need a reward for restraint. So I'll hold her muzzle, and I might need to look into her eye. So I'll hold her muzzle and I'll look, say she had something in her eye. Makes it much easier for me to look in her eye if she just is calm when I restrain her head. Same way with her ears. Good girl. The vets always like to look in their ears. Good. She's good. She doesn't struggle. I'm going to give her a reward. Then I give them a restraining hug and teach them that it's okay that if I hold their head, hold them. This is a lot of times how the vets will hold them. Hold her arm out. This is where they'll take blood from. I want her to get used to being restrained this way also. Good girl. Yay. She does well, and I give her a reward. Same with her feet. A lot of dogs don't like their feet touched, so I will touch her paw. Yes. When she doesn't struggle, I relieve the pressure and give her a reward. Suppose the dog got a big old sliver or a sticker in their paws. It's a lot easier when I can spread their toes and be able to pull the sticker out myself versus having to pin the dog down on the ground and just generally wrestle with the dog to get whatever's stuck in their paw, or they might have a cut or something on their paw. Another thing that I do is, good girl, I like them to feel at ease for going on their side. Good girl. She's still a little uneasy with this, but when she relaxes, I'm gonna reward her. Good. Girl, there you go. Good. So I can hold her down on the ground. Yes. Good. And then let her up. Good girl, Secret. Come on. Good. So you saw in the beginning, she was a little bit uneasy with that. And each time I do it, it should get a little easier and a little easier. And I let her up, and then I reward her. So that's a little bit about restraint. If you have issues with restraint with your dogs, I would suggest seeing a trainer. They can help you ease the dog through it to make it easy for you to start rewarding that behavior. The second training tip that I spoke of is teaching your dogs to give in to pressure. We all have times where our dogs absolutely will not perform a command that we've asked them to do, whether it be a sit or a down. So I'm going to show you kind of an easy way to teach the dogs to give in to pressure when I apply some pressure, whether it be upper pressure or trying to do the down pressure. They're going to learn to give into it. When I first teach this in my classes, the dogs resist a little bit, but within a minute or 2 minutes, everybody sees a huge difference in their dogs, where their dogs just give into that pressure. And when the dogs give into the pressure, we can then reward the fact that they gave into the pressure. So I spoke of 2 different types of pressure. There's one pressure if my dog doesn't sit when I ask her to. I can apply a little collar pressure, upward collar pressure, and that will, if I apply upper pressure, she's going to try to put her bottom on the ground. And as soon as her bottom hits the ground, then I'm going to release the pressure that I put on. If I apply upper pressure on Secret, she's going to automatically put her butt on the ground. She obviously has learned to give into pressure. Come on, good girl. I'll get her into a stand, apply a little pressure. As soon as she sits, I'm going to release the pressure. So that's one way. If your dog doesn't sit when you ask it to, again, it's not a jerk, it's not a correction, it's just a little constant pressure upward, and then as soon as you feel them put their bottom down, you're going to release. In the same way with the down, if I put a little down pressure on her, she's going to just give right into the pressure that I put on her. And again, it's not a correction to go down. All I'm doing is applying a little bit of tension on the leash to have her go down, and she gives into it. Yay, I praise her, and I can even reward that with food. Okay? Pressure, good girl. Okay, good job. Sit pressure, good. And it shouldn't be a traumatic thing to teach them, but it's a good thing for all dogs to know. I see it all the time. They can't get their dogs to down, and when they try to do a little bit of pressure, the dogs tend to fight it versus give into it. And all you need to do is teach your dogs to give into pressure. Down pressure, she gives into it. Sit pressure, she gives into it. And it's the 2 types of pressure that we put on our dogs. So that's this month's training tip. If you have any questions or any issues with that, feel free to contact any of the trainers here at VLP.